All right, folks, happy Sunday. It is Sunday, November 19th, 2023. Just the weekend before Thanksgiving and all the craziness that's going to be kicked off after that. I'm back today with an update on my stock charting program, and I'm just going to share a little bit more about it with you, and then you can download this second version and update it, play around with it. So if we look at the computer screen right now, what I did was I rearranged some of the things and added another technical, actually two more technical indicators. One is the Bollinger Band that you can see here on the upper right, and then on the lower right I've added the average true range. So aside from the relative strength index and the MACD indicator, I've added two more technical charts. And the other thing that I did with this version is that I've also unlocked the worksheet so that you can go and update the information on like the company sheet if you want to add more than the roughly S&P 500 plus a handful of other ETFs and mutual funds that I use. So this is how it looks today with this version, but in terms of functionality, it works exactly the same as the previous version. You just put in whatever you're interested in looking up. Excel will go out and grab the price history and graph the charts based on the date range that you specified. So if you want something a little bit longer than the last 3, almost 4 years now, you can go back to as far as Excel has the data for that particular issue. In terms of updating the company sheet, if you want to add new ticker symbols to it so that it picks up the name and the sectors and things like that, that's all done here. This is set up as a table, so let me zoom in a little bit so you can actually see and read things. But basically you just have the ticker in the first column, the company, and then the different sectors. As to if you want to add where they're headquartered or when they were founded or whatever, that's up to you. But if you were to go to the bottom of the list here, where I've added a handful of things that I'm interested in, because by default I included the S&P 500, everything that's in there. But then I use things like the triple Qs and Schwab dividend ETFs and VTI and whatever, gold. You can just add them to the bottom of the list here, because things are described in a table in this company's sheet of the workbook. You can just start adding what you want to add, and it should be fine. And then it'll pick it up and display whatever you want to list. There is a hidden worksheet in this workbook, and if you right click and say unhide, it's going to say data, and that's the sheet that does all the math and calculation. I hid it by default because this gets a bit more complicated in how things are set up, but if you really want to learn about how I did this, it's all in this sheet. So everything is done with the stock history function out of Excel that you can see here in the formula bar. Let me get out of it so you can actually see it. But it's actually just retrieving the stock price history or ETF price history or mutual fund price history, whatever the thing is, by the symbol and then by the date range. So I have those pulling in here from the main chart sheet, and then it just automatically grabs the data for that price range. And you can see that all of the data for open, high, low, close, and volume are in the first couple of columns here, the first 6 columns. And then the other columns are using that data to do all the calculations. So this SMA 50, this is a simple moving average over 50 periods or 50 trading days. So it starts down here because you need 50 price history in order to do it. And this is just a average of the last 50 closing prices. That's all it is. So for the simple moving average 50, relatively simple. The 200, the 100, same thing. But then we get into things like RSI, MACD, whatever. That gets a lot more complicated with the math, but if you're interested in seeing how it's done, it's all in here. The other thing that people wonder about when I've shared this is that, and then let me hide this before I continue, is that the chart itself automatically updates the data range based on how much data is filled in. So if you pick, 1 year's worth of data, the chart will automatically adjust the axis so it shows just that 1 year. But in this case here, we're going back almost 8-9 years, and it automatically fits itself to that. And the way that I did that was that within the data sheet, I used defined names so that it actually just does everything automatically. So anyways, as usual, go ahead and download the sheet, make a copy of it first, and play with it to your heart's content. All right, thanks, and I'll catch you in the next video. Later.